Real estate market update for Treasure Valley, Idaho. Where is Treasure Valley, Idaho? Well, that's the southwestern region of Idaho, and that's our capital city of Boise and all the surrounding cities. What makes up about 15 surrounding cities in the two counties of Ada and Canyon County, which is mostly our real estate market around that Boise area. Encompasses about 25 to 30 mile radius. There's 5 counties altogether, but I'm not going into those right now just for the purpose of our market update for the Boise area in Treasure Valley, right? And going out to, as far as Middleton, basically, Caldwell and Middleton, which are in Canyon County, and Nampa, which, by the way, Caldwell and Nampa happen to be the number 3 and number 5 largest, most populated cities in our entire state. Boise being number 1 and Meridian number 2. And those are in Ada County. So in our Treasure Valley, all around the Boise surrounding area, our Boise market, you've got 4 of the largest cities in the entire state, okay? Coeur d'Alene up there up north, that's a pretty populated city as well. And Twin Falls, Idaho over in the Magic Valley, that's another populated city too. So I hope that gives you kind of an idea. I'm going to give you some numbers too on population here. Looking in Ada County, these are numbers that were ran as of July 2022. 518,000 population in Ada County. And we've had growth since then, significant growth, and those numbers are going to come out soon, and I'll provide those for you once we get those updated numbers. Canyon County, 251,000 was the number they had back in July 2022. So you've got, you've got this 768,000 people in just the 2 counties there, which are making up the area here. And that's just in those 2 counties. Then you add Gem County and Owyhee as well, and that's going to really change those numbers up too, because they're less populated and just very stretched out, very rural areas. I wanted to get into the numbers here, the data. I dug deep into the numbers because I wanted to share something with you, because the numbers don't lie. And I've been hearing people talking about how slow the market is, especially in the Idaho area. And in my opinion, it's really not that slow. I went back 60 days. I went back December and January, because those are cold months, typically slower months, especially in a place like Idaho when it's snowing and it's getting really cold, below freezing at times, right? So people don't really want to make the moves around that time. Natural, right? So I looked into the numbers for the last 60 days, December and January, and I'm going to share those numbers with you. I'm going to show you the active listings, what we currently have active on the market right now, and I'm going to show you what's in escrow, what's pending, what's in escrow currently, and what has sold in those last 60 days. Closed sale, contract signed, keys delivered, they're moving in whenever they want. That's a done deal, okay, in the last 60 days. So let's take a look at these numbers right now here. I'm going to look at a combination of Ada and Canyon County, which comprises of about 15 cities that we talked about. Let's look at sold numbers between those 2 counties. 1,551 sold houses, okay, in the last 60 days. That's in December and January. 1,551. There's an additional 1,665 in escrow right now, pending 1,665. And what we have active on the market now is just a little over 1,950 between Ada and Canyon County. So there is some activity going on. There's some action happening in Ada and Canyon County, the Treasure Valley areas of Idaho. So I've had some people ask me, so how about price changes? Been a lot of price changes, huh? Not really. I've not seen a lot lately. There have been some, because there had always been people coming on the market. They get excited. I understand, it's natural. They see the price is going up and the house is selling next to them, and at some point it has to level out, right? You just can't keep overpricing your house, because then it sits and that hurts you. You don't want the house to sit on the market too long. If it is, then you've got to look at pricing, you got to look at marketing, and honestly, you got to look at your agent. What's happening? Is he just not being, or she, being just straightforward with you on price? Are they not doing the marketing? I've seen some agents in today's real estate world that because things have been so slow, they're not even putting the signs in the yard. We have a sign company typically that'll put the big signs in the front yard. It's about $50-$60 for up and down of these signs, and some of them are not even investing that money, right? And if they're coming by with a cell phone, taking your pictures and calling that a day, that's something to really think about. That photography is super important, and the videography, if that's not being done right. An agent needs to invest money into your property in order to get it sold efficiently and for top price. These are mandatory elements that have to go into the deal, okay? And if the agent's not willing to invest their time and their money into your property getting sold, then I'd really, take a deep look at that. All right. Anyway, so there's the numbers. I hope that helps. As far as price changes, there were 11 that I had between Ada and Canyon County in the last 60 days. 11, not bad at all. That's actually a slow number. And people ask me, well, was the price change up or was it down? Well, it's down. I looked at each and every one of them just to make sure. I pulled them all up on MLS. They all went down. And if you see a price change go up, which hardly ever happens, typically it's because there was a mistake on the input going into the MLS with the pricing, right? And they just had to make a quick adjustment, but now we got to price up. So it happens sometimes. Anyways, that's where we're at with all of that. We do have another 38 homes in Ada County and 19 in Canyon County that are on a hold do not show status, temporarily off market. These are homes that are actively listed, but they're just saying we do not want to show them right now. Could be a multitude of reasons, very possible, and generally it's because they're doing a repair. But also sometimes it's because they have somebody visiting from out of town or somebody got sick. And then sometimes it's because maybe they're just rethinking the whole thing and I need a little breather and I may not want to go forward with this sale. Maybe they couldn't find the home they were trying to buy, right? That fell out. And with this lower inventory, it's made it very difficult for sellers to be able to find something to buy, especially if they do have to pay a mortgage, right? And they got to land that 8% plus rate. Now it's down a little bit, but that's made it very difficult for sellers and buyers because most sellers become buyers. Let's talk about our sellers real quick. We have had a lot of sellers holding on to that interest rate. I've asked a few, are you really holding on to the rate, or the home, or are you holding on to the rate? And oh, we love the home, it's great. I know it's like they're selling me on the home right now. Okay, I get it. But you also mentioned that you really need to move. You really have to move, but you haven't been. And I get it because you've got a 2.99 rate on the current home and you're looking at 8% plus on the purchase, What we've seen a lot of activity with purchases through this high interest environment is people that are doing large down payments or all cash because there's just been a tremendous amount of equity in these homes. So if they do get them on the market and sell them, here's a statistic for you. 40% of homes right now across the United States don't have a mortgage. They're mortgage free. How about that? There's a number to think about. So, and then when these people sell their homes, they're going with large down payments, so the interest rate really becomes less of a problem. So anyway, so that's been going on. Now that our interest rates have been coming down, and there's speculation of them coming down more in 2024, it is an election year. I am going to throw that out there. Listen, I think that the rates are going to come down. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to say rates will be coming down, and I have said that back in my 2023 videos. At 24, we will see rates coming down. So hope I'm right. I'll throw a little asterisk out there. Anything could happen. We don't have a crystal ball. But based on what I'm seeing and the way that things are working in the economy in the world right now, I'm going to go with some rate cuts are coming in 2024. How much of a rate cut? That's the $1 million question. But if they get down below 6, okay, and we're down to about 6.35 right now. We played a little game down to 6.25, then it went up to about 6.75, found 6.5, and now it's drifting down a little bit, down about 6.35, as I talked to my lender yesterday about that. So if these rates get to that 6 and start to slip under 6 a little bit, woo, we're going to get busy. Yeah, we are going to get busy. Yes, we are. There are so many buyers on the fence, and rightfully so. I get it. It's not just the rate. The rate has been a big part of the problem, but it's the lack of inventory. There's just not much to find, right? So between the inventory increasing because sellers that have got that rate fatigue, they've been holding on to that house or the rate, whatever the real story is, and now that rate's getting more attractive on the purchase side, more reasonable, if you will, then it's time to start putting the house on the market. So that brings a little bit more inventory to the market, but it also brings another buyer to the market too. So I think the absorption will still stay strong, and that will keep prices holding steady or going up. The more buyers we get into the market and that inventory doesn't balance out, right? Our inventory is here and our buyer pushes here, these prices are going to come up in 2024. So I do see that being some real strong potential. I think at the worst case, it's just going to stay flat. Prices stay flat or go up. That's my thought. So if you see the rates come down where you think you can finally afford something, talk to your lender because affordability is a big deal for a lot of people, 100%. Not everybody has, a ton of money to put down or all the money to put down. So if that's the case, talk to your lender, find out what's going on, and let's take a look at these numbers at the time. I'm always digging into the data. If you ever have any questions or want to go real deep on these numbers, I'm happy to help anytime, okay? Until then,